Good evening, everyone. It is Tuesday and it's week 10. So I'm just going to chatter like I normally do as people drop on. Today has been a very self-care, self-relaxed. Hi, Ange. First up, you keen? So yeah, today's been really nice. I've been and had a little bit of self-care today. So I've got not a scrap of makeup on. I've had the ultimate facial today at Kay's at Beauty Queen in Amble. Always nice to go and get pampered. I'm sure you all enjoy that, ladies. And had a nice pedicure as well. So my toes look good. Tomorrow my skin should look good. That's all good. Hi, Debbie. Nice to see you joining. I'll wait till a few more people drop on and just keep chittering on today. So I've changed the painting in the background just for a bit of variety, so you don't get bored with the same one all the time. Just give me a thumbs up if you can hear me fine. Relying on you for that, Ange. And as you can see, still lots of packing boxes in the background and no further forward just yet in moving into the new house. But we are literally a couple of weeks away. Thanks, Ange. Yeah, literally a couple of weeks away. I was round the house on Monday. What day is it today? Tuesday. Yesterday. Yes, I'm really well, Debbie. Hope you're well too. Yeah, I was around the new house yesterday doing the builder's visit with the builder and some of the other team doing our checks. And any of you that worked for me in any of the supermarkets in the past will know that I'm a bit hawk-eyed when it comes to spotting things that aren't right. So I gave them a bit of a hard time, but we found a few things that needed to be done before we move in. So still waiting for confirmation of the funds to arrive out of my pension into my bank account. I am going to screenshot that, mind, when that arrives. I am going to screenshot when the money lands in my bank account. I may or may not share that with you just as a bit of it, because that's going to be a moment, isn't it? I'm never going to have that much money in my bank account. Well, no, I am. I will have that much money in my bank account again on a regular basis once I launch this amazing new business. So yeah, I almost slipped into not being positive there. That's not acceptable, is it? Anyway, I'm chittering on for 2 minutes now, so I'm going to stop chittering on about unnecessary stuff, because last week, half an hour was not enough. So those of you that were here last week, you'll possibly remember that. So this is week 10 of 12 of my series From Bankruptcy to Abundance. And this last 3 weeks is kind of where I pull everything together that we've been talking about over the last 9 weeks. And you'll probably remember I've said some of the stuff before that I'm going to say again this week, next week, the week after. And hopefully, fingers crossed, guys, that the final week will be filmed in the new house. Even if we haven't moved in, I'm going down there with my laptop and my light, and I'm filming it there anyway. So whether they like it or not. So this is episode 10. And tonight, I'm going to talk about the importance of investing in you. And I can't stress how important this is. And I don't think in general, in the general population, that people really understand how important this is, this investment in yourself. To invest in your own development means that you have to work hard on your own vibration than anything else in your life. It's really important. I want to try and get this message across, and I've got a few different examples tonight and a few things I want to talk you through. And I'm going to say that successful people get this. People that change their lives get this. People that make massive changes and massive successes get that they have to invest in themselves before anything else. And it's a really difficult concept to get your head around. So I'm not saying that anyone that doesn't do it is wrong. It's about not understanding how important this is. So working hard on your own vibration than anything else. And what's your own vibration? Well, it's you, it's your aura, it's your projection, it's your focus, it's your behavior, it's your education, your knowledge. Now, I'm not saying you have to be an academic here, but whatever you are going to do in life, whatever your choice is, what you're going to do in that life, you need to be a master at it if you are going to do it really, really well. And the reason for this is that, I might upset some people here, and I'm really sorry about that, but you are, and I started, I think, this series with this. I started right at the very beginning with this. And some of you may or may not have received and read, or received and be reading my book, right? So if you have, you'll get what I'm saying. And if you watched episode 1, you'll get what I'm saying. But the reason I'm revisiting this tonight is it is so darn important. You are 100% responsible for you and where your life is right now. Nobody else got you there but you. I don't want to hear people saying, but so-and-so did this, the world did this, this happened, this happens. So I'm going to talk you through this, and I'm not doing it in a nasty way. I just really want a truth bomb here more than anything else. You are 100% responsible for absolutely everything in your life right now. If you are in a bad relationship, you chose the person that you want to be with and you choose to stay with them. If you are in a job you are not happy in, you chose to do that job and you choose to stay in it. If your business is not taking the money you think it should be taking or you want it to take, you chose to do that and you are choosing not to do it any other way than you have been doing it. If your health is not where you want it to be, and you may have things outside of your control, like of disease or injury, etc., but you will have made the choices to get you there. And that sounds fairly harsh. When I got in the car last year to drive into Anik and I had that car accident, I chose to get in the car and I chose to go into Anik and I chose to go on a road. That puts me at risk of having an accident. So although another driver made an error, I didn't stop in time. That wasn't necessarily my fault, but I take responsibility. I'm not angry at that other person. I don't blame that other person. Sometimes shit just happens. So everything, and I mean everything, in your life is 100% your responsibility. So if you are in debt, you chose to be in debt, you bought stuff you couldn't afford on finance that perhaps was too much for you, and you are not taking the steps to get yourself out of debt. So really, those are quite harsh examples, but that goes for absolutely everything in your life. Where you're living, who you're with, your relationships, your finances, your business, your job, the clothes you wear, your health, all the choices that you make. And what happens is, as human beings, as the human race, the majority of the human race make these choices again and again because it's habitual. You don't know how to change that because 90% of the world's wealth comes from 10% of the world's population, yet there is enough for everyone. Absolutely everybody on this planet has the same opportunities. But what happens is people get stuck. And this episode is about investing in yourself. So remember where I was 10 years ago. 10 years ago, I was bankrupt. I had nothing. I had £30 in my bank account. I had nothing. I talked last week about the investments I decided to make and how that progressed over the 10 years, but I had nothing. I'm just reading Tanya's comment. I don't disagree, you're responsible for your action, but devil's advocate here. What if you were born with a condition that is not your fault? Yeah, that's fine. I agree with you. But the condition doesn't have to define you. There are people that are born blind that live full lives and are very wealthy. My husband was born with CF and had a lung transplant 15 years ago. I was told he only had 6 years to live, but you know what? He gets up every single day and lives his life to the full. He doesn't let stress take over him. He's very chilled. He made decisions in his life that have extended his life compared to his brother, who was also born with CF. He's here 15 years post-transplant and still going, even though we had a scare this year. So I think it's, yes, it's not your fault. Everything that you create in your life is your decision and your fault. I hope that clarifies that. And thank you for playing devil's advocate, because it's good that there's questions coming forward and that people are raising points like that. I'm not saying it's your fault if you're born with something that can't be changed. How you live your life is your responsibility, and how you choose to change the way you live, or make them out. Oh no, the dog's whining again. Becca's just come in. She hasn't got food, but he's whining anyway. Jack! How you choose to teach your dog to behave is also your responsibility. Take the dog to behavioural training classes and they might do as you ask. Take full responsibility for that. Okay, so why don't we invest in ourselves and take responsibility? Well, there's three main reasons, as human beings, because as human beings, we tend to make the same decisions all the time and follow the same patterns of behaviour. Firstly, it's fear of failure. So we don't invest in ourselves, because why would we go and do that course if we are not going to succeed? And we have this brain chatter going on. A lot of people, I'm not saying we and including everybody here, but this brain chatter, that course is £495, and what if I don't pass, and what if I look stupid in front of other people, so I'm not going to do it, I'm going to stay in my comfort zone. Secondly, there's fear of change. We don't generally, as a human race, like to do things differently. We don't like being challenged, and we don't like change, so we do the same repetitive things again and again. And thirdly, because change and investing in yourself and doing something different is hard work. And do we really want to invite hard work unnecessarily? Those are the three key psychological reasons as to why we don't choose to invest in ourselves. And what stops us from investing in ourselves is that the negative images that you have in yourself. Okay, I'm not good enough. I'm not good enough to invest in myself. I'm never going to be any better than I am today. I am just what I am. I've always been like this, so therefore I'm not going to be any better. Secondly, because I'm going to stay in my homemade comfort zone, which keeps me in this place of perpetual mediocrity. And then there's guilt, self-doubt, limiting beliefs that keeps us from investing. Everything that, when you're looking at making a financial decision that invests in you, there are a million other things more important than investing in yourself, than buying that book, than going on that course, than doing that study course, than going back to college. Million, like food on the table and paying the bills, and there's always a million reasons for you to not invest in yourself. But I'm telling you now, you cannot make change happen without investing in yourself, because you'll do what you've always done unless you find some difference or challenge that's going to help you to change. Successful people just let go of what holds them back. They don't keep their limiting beliefs. They seek out help, advice, or education that allows them to grow. And that's successful people in any field. All right? So whether your field is weight loss and you are taking on a new Slimming World class, and that's what you've decided to do, if you choose to go and do that, you're letting go of all your self-doubt. Maybe you've lost a lot of weight and you've decided you want to help others, and that's your calling in life. What would hold you back would be the self-doubt, the guilt, the limiting beliefs. But successful people just let that go and do it anyway. I've talked about this right throughout the 10 weeks. But the biggest resistance of all, in general, for most people, is cost. Because they don't value themselves enough to invest in themselves. So here is what I want you to think about. All right, I want you to think about this. And it's called I call it SOS. Seek out solutions. SOS. Everything, absolutely everything that you want to change and you want to achieve has already been done. Okay, whether that is losing weight, Somebody else has already lost weight. They know how to do it. In order for you to lose weight effectively, you need to go and find them and seek out help if you can't do it on your own. If you are thinking of starting a new business, somebody else has already done it in the field that you want to do it in, whether it's a coaching business, a crafts business, a shop, a bricks and mortar business. Somebody else has already done it. So successful people would go and maybe take that salon owner out for lunch, find out what it took to start a salon, to start their own salon. How much money did it take? What sort of network did they use? What suppliers did they use? Most people are really willing to give that information up for free initially, but then you might need to hire some help in order to get you there. Even if it's running a marathon, somebody else has already run a marathon. Go and ask them how they did it and how they trained. And you may need some gym membership for that and some coaching for that. So seeking out solutions, your SOS. There are millions of examples out there of resources that you can use to help you to get from where you are now to where you want to be. And here's just a few. There are books. It is fairly inexpensive to buy books on Amazon. It's actually free to borrow them from the library. That's what we used to do in the olden days before the internet. There are videos, DVDs, courses, education programs, experts, teachers, coaches. There are millions upon millions of resources that can help you to get from A to B. All these things are investing in yourself. You've got to seek out your answers to the problems that you have, and your answers for the solutions that you seek. SOS, seek out solutions. You want to improve your earnings at work? Go and ask your boss how you do it. He will be delighted that you have taken the initiative to go and say, I want a better job. How do I do that? What do I need to do? How can you help me? How can I help myself? You want to build your own business? Ask somebody who has. Most people in work or in society or in business will be willing to help you. Or go and volunteer for something. Go and do a free internship, go and do a bit of volunteering, find out about the field you want to be in, and really take the steps to get you there. Because sitting in your comfort zone without investing in yourself is not going to move you forward. Not one little bit. Now, one of the biggest things you can do to move you forward is to have a very, very, very clear vision of what it is you want. Now, we all want something better in our lives. I'm sure most of us, most of the time, want to improve something. It doesn't have to be huge. It might be one area of your life that you want to make better. And the best way you can possibly do that, and I've talked about it over the last few weeks, on and off in bits and pieces, but this is the big one here today, and this is what I want to spend the next 10 minutes talking about. I want to talk to you about visualization. And when I've written this coaching program that launches in end of October, middle of November, whenever it's ready and the website is written, one of the key things that I will focus on throughout, and because I'm a creative, I always find a picture behind me, is how does that look? And it was really interesting because last Thursday night I presented my new book to the ladies of Meeba Newcastle. They were fantastic, by the way. And I started at the very basics of starting to look at visualization, of associating emotions and colour. And most of the ladies in that group struggled at some level with thinking about how to associate colour and emotion, because visualization is very different for all of us. Some of us see really clearly in bright technicolor the vision that we want to achieve. That's me. I'm a visual person. Some people see in black and white. Some people see in linear pictures. Some people struggle to visualize things. It's something you've got to practice. But the importance of visualization gives us real power. And this is one of the things I work through on my coaching program. It is innately powerful to be able to visualize exactly what you want, exactly what it looks like, having a really clear picture of what that looks like. And this is where sometimes you've got to invest in yourself, because you might have a picture of what you want, but it needs to be clear, and you need more knowledge, and you need to be able to make that really tangible. So what does visualization do? Now, the greatest athletes on the planet use visualization in their training. Successful leaders use visualization when they are creating a picture of where they want their business to go strategically. When I was a store manager, I did this, and I'm going to give you that as an example shortly. Visualization activates the creative power of your subconscious mind. You are living now in your conscious state. You are watching me, and you are aware that you are watching me. You see my face, you hear me talking, and you are aware of that's your conscious state. Your subconscious is where you store all of the emotions and memories, and it's like a filing system. It's like the hard drive of your computer, and that's where you file everything. It sits there waiting for you to draw on it, and most of us do not draw on it. Visualization does this. It focuses your brain by programming. So visualization, sorry, there's the dog again. I'm going to visualize the dog being outside and see if it makes a difference. Visualization focuses your brain by programming, and I want you to make a note of this, your reticular activating system. I'm going to come back to that in a minute, your reticular activating system. And what that does, it programs your reticular activating system to notice the available resources that were always there, but you've previously not noticed. So I'll go into that in a bit more detail in a minute. And then visualization also magnetizes and attracts to you. So you become a magnet and you attract. This is the theory of the law of attraction. Attracts to you the people, the resources, and the opportunities you need to achieve your goals. And this works. I'm telling you now, this works. Since I presented at last week's MEBA Newcastle meeting, where I read out a couple of chapters of my book, I presented the new coaching program in detail, which I'm going to do at the end of this series to you guys as well. I have had 2 emails inviting me to meetings and 1 invite to speak at another meeting. Because when you put it out there and when you start activating this reticular activating system, I can never even say it, you start to magnetize this towards you. So what that is your reticular activating system is a network, and I've talked about them before, neurons and pathways. It's a network of nerve pathways, can't speak, that connect your spinal cord and parts of your brain, and that mediates your overall level of consciousness. When you trigger it, you can tap in to your subconscious. It's almost like opening files that were already there, but you weren't noticing. And I think the best example of this I can give you, a best real, because I like to give you real life examples of doing this. I was a store manager, most of you know that worked for Summerfield and IKEA and B&Q. Now, as female in a male-dominated industry, I was the only divisional executive that was female out of 52. There was only a handful of female store managers, and I was the only one in large, high-turnover stores. So in order for me to be able to stand out, I had to be better than my male counterparts. And because I'm creative, I regularly tap into that system because I use both sides of my brain. And I've talked about this before, when you can tap into your right side and your left side of the brain and develop your right side, which is your creative side, more to be more focused, you can tap into this system. And anybody who's worked with me will probably say yes to this. I used to walk my stores as a store manager, and I would notice absolutely everything, to the absolute annoyance of the people who worked for me. And I thought I saw Louise there. Louise, did I or did I not do this on a regular basis? And Ange, Yeah, I could walk around a supermarket and I could pick out the tiniest, minuscule things that were wrong, but I also looked for the things that were right. I could see every piece of litter on the floor, every single, hi Lou, every single ticket that was missing, every dirty shelf, you name it, I would be able, because I opened up this system and I could see things that I knew were there that most people would walk past and not notice. It's like, you know, those females amongst us that are married, our men can walk past 15 things that are lying about the house and not even know they're there, whereas we can walk through the house and see them all. That's what visualization does for you. It taps into what's already there. So if you are visualizing and you are trying to set up and build a business, let's use that as an example. The opportunities are already there. Oh God, yeah. Thanks. Mandy, you were eagle-eyed. Yes, see, there are people on here that know I used to do that. If you are trying to build a business, all of the resources and all of the opportunities are already there. They're there for you. There are people already doing it. There are courses you can go on. There are books you can buy. There are people you can work with who will tell you how to build that business and be successful. But you're not seeing it necessarily if you are not activated, if you're not visualizing and using affirmations, and these things work, they really, really work, you are never going to see the opportunities. Not in a million years, because you're close to them naturally. It's a human instinct. It's your fight or flight mode. Your body and your subconscious tries to protect you from things, and it doesn't like change and it doesn't like difficulty. So in order to be, that's why successful people are risk takers. They spend a lot of money on people to help them. And it's really difficult when you're on a budget and you are looking at your budget and you are thinking, can I afford, I want to do this, but can I afford to invest in myself? And I am going to sit here and tell you, if you invest the money in yourself, you will get that money back because you will open up your thinking. Now, I consider myself to be quite good at that. I've had more than one business. I've been a successful manager, but I started working with my coach this weekend, and I am paying a lot of money to work with this coach, and she is amazing. And already I am feeling challenged and coming up with things that were there, but I'm now seeing in a very, very different way that will up-level my business when I run into this in a hugely different way. And my goal at the start of it was, I want to be a #1 best-selling author. I want to sell 1 million copies worldwide of my book that just launched last week. I want to be a renowned coach, a renowned creative coach for women. I want to be a #1 best-selling children's author. I have got a list of what my goals look like. I know how I'm going to feel when I achieve them. I know who's going to be there with me. I know how I'll be celebrating, what food I will be ordering in the very fancy restaurants that I'm eating at. I know that because that's what I want to achieve. I don't want mediocrity. And why don't I want to achieve that? Because I want to help lots of women. That's my mission. I want to help lots of women to be the very, very best version of themselves that they can be. And I can do that by teaching women how to use their creative thinking and open up that system. So invest in yourself, but invest in the right way. If you invest in something and it's not working for you, if you buy a book and in the first 2 chapters, 3 chapters, you are not feeling like it's resonating with you, don't be frightened to give that away. Take it to Barter Books in Alnwick, yeah? Don't be frightened to do that and move on to the next thing. Don't waste time on something that's not working for you. But first, do your research. Find out about things. But invest in you, because every single investment that you make in yourself is going to give you huge gains in whatever area you want to get it. Okay, so that was tonight's message. I hope that's clear, and I hope I've given you enough examples. Last week, I can't go without plugging this, guys. Sorry, I launched my book, which has taken me 10 years to write, to be in the right frame of mind. And the only obstacles I put in the way of me writing that earlier were put there by me. Don't blame anybody else. But I've done it. Do you know what? I wrote it and I self-published it on Amazon. I made a cock-up, but I corrected it. And that book is now available, and I'm very proud of that. And I'm going to do my darndest to make sure that that book is a huge success, because the book is making a difference to the people that are currently reading it. I've put the link to the book in the bio and introduction on this live. You'll be able to see it at the top there where it says see more. If you click that, there's a link to the book at the bottom there if you haven't already seen it on any of the pages, but it's there everywhere at the minute. And I want people to buy it because I want to be able to help people in reading it. And the book will help you because it will help you to take responsibility for everything. And it will help you to do what I've actually started this live with tonight, to say, everything is my fault. Everything in my life that I've created is here because I invited it in. That's why this live follows the book, because the book is all about that message, and the book is about me and my journey. And there's another book coming, and it will be From Bankruptcy to Abundance. So the lives that you're watching now are giving you just some of the lessons, but the book will be about the story. So thank you for joining me tonight. Absolutely love that you've dropped on and you are using your Tuesday nights to watch me. I'm sure there's lots more things that you could be doing, but the fact that you're here, actually, do you know what you're doing? You're investing in yourself. Well done. I am really proud of you. Love and colour. Have a fantastic night. I'm off to watch Holby like I always do. Bye for now.